Almost every kid can remember that one creepy house on the street growing up. I certainly do. I don't think I could forget it no matter how hard I try. Throughout the year, children are taught to not talk to strangers, to stay away from dark places, to be safe and never accept gifts like candy from strangers. Except on Halloween. On Halloween, we're encouraged to wander up and down the streets in the dark, knocking on strangers' doors and expecting treats. At least, we were back when my older brother Lance and I were children. We called it the Crooked House, because the roof of the front porch was crooked from disrepair, causing it to lean on its right column more than the left. It was home to a single old woman, a cranky hag named Miss LeVay, who kept a snarling dog on the end of a chain connected to the sturdier of the two porch columns. I distinctly remember that every day we would walk past that house on our way home from school. That dog would snap and bark, pulling on his chain and causing the old wood of that house to groan in protest. I was always afraid that any day that column would give way and that dog would get me. We usually avoided the Crooked House at all costs, but Lance and I were surprised to find that on Halloween, that horrible dog was not out on the porch. In fact, as we squinted through the darkness, we thought we could see something resting on the porch, illuminated by the unsteady flicker of the porch light. A bowl, perhaps? I meekly followed Lance through the unkept yard, hesitating at the bottom of the porch steps while he eagerly scaled them to the awaiting bowl of candy. I could feel a shiver crawl up my spine as he waved me on, my small shoes clicking with each step I ascended. My brother had already shoveled half of the candy bowl into his bag by the time I joined him. But I swallowed the lump in my throat. But shouldn't we only take one? Who cares? Lance spat back with another fistful of candy into his bag. No one's here to check. It was as if that was a cue, setting off the metallic click of the front door unlatching, and the creak of old hinges as it swung open. Miss LeVay stood in the doorway, her haggard old figure cloaked in black, the brim of her pointed hat casting a thick shadow across the deep lines of her aged face. I'd never taken her for the type to celebrate Halloween. In fact, I couldn't remember a single year she had. But there she was, dressed up in a witch's costume. "Come in." Her raspy voice caused a ping of anxiety to needle my chest. "I have more goodies in here that you can have." Before I could protest, Lance was following her inside, leaving an empty candy bowl and me behind, standing there in the flickering porch light. Naturally, I didn't want to stay out there. It was creepy, but I thought, at least if I'm with Lance, I'm safe. The door latched behind me with a heavy clack. As my eyes adjusted to the dim room, lit solely by the fire crackling in the hearth, I took note of whatever I could make out. It looked much like you would expect for an old woman's home. A recliner close to the fireplace, a couch draped with white lace, various small trinkets purposefully placed on ledges or tables as if they belonged there, a glass cabinet in the corner containing a collection of who knows what. What I didn't see was my brother. I crossed the room, letting my fingers trace over the yellowed wall, using it for guidance as I felt my way toward the sound of distant talking. There, in the kitchen, was Miss LeVay, her withered hand latching the oven door shut before she turned to look at me. A moment of silence stretched between us when our eyes met, filling the air, causing my breath to stop in my throat, my heart to beat itself against the inside of my ribs like a frightened sparrow trying to escape a cage. That was, until she smiled at me.